Okay, for this tutorial, we're going to do sound. And the best way that I find out about doing sound is that you have to create your own empty game object. So I'm going to do empty. And then I'm going to rename this to, let's do, rename. Let's call this sound. Let's do underscore sound engine. Okay. And then what I want to do is I'm going to add a component, an audio component, and it will be audio source. There you go. And then next is we're going to add a script to hold all the sound that we want to use in our project, especially for this screen. So I'm going to do add component, new script. Let's call this audio list. Let's do capital audio list. Okay. Great. And then we're going to edit the script. So this file will contain all the sound effects that we want to use. So what we need is to define several variables, and the first one will be, let's do public audio source, and then we're going to give a local variable name called audio source as well, but this one is all lowercase character. These can be any name. Basically, it's a variable that represents this audio source object, right? To make it easier for us to know in our script, I just make it the same name, but it's lowercase character. It cannot have the same uppercasing as the type. Next is the actual file list. So I'm going to do public, and then this audio clip, and I'm going to give a variable for this audio clip. I'm going to call this SFX1. So again, it can be any name. So best that you name it to the actual sound that you might want to use for a particular purpose. All right, for example, let's say you want a sound for a mouse over effect for your button. Then you can just put here, let's do btn or sfx underscore mouse over. Yeah. Or without underscore, doesn't matter. It's totally up to you. And I'm going to do another audio clip. Let's do SFX mouse click. Okay, mouse click or mouse down. Right. Okay, so that's it. Let's do to sound. And then we need a function to play the sound, but the function will be on another script attached to a particular button, so we don't need all of this at this moment. So I'm going to save it, and then I'm going to go back to Unity. And here you can see once it is updated, you can see two fields representing the audio clip that we want to use in our game or in our project. So let's see whether it's going to be updated or not. Takes a while. There you go. Audio source, you don't need to put anything, but the sound effect for mouse over, now you need to grab the sound that you're actually going to use. Let's say I'm going to do this is my mouse over, and then the other one is my mouse click sound. If I can drag, oops, there you go. All right, and then we don't want to play anything on awake, so I'm going to uncheck this. That's the sound engine. Okay. All right. Why we don't want to play it on awake? On awake meaning that immediately when the screen launch, the sound will play. We don't want that to happen. We want the sound to play when we tell it to play. Next is the button itself. So I'm going to click on play button and check out all what script I have. So at the moment I have my load my scene script. This is from the previous tutorial where when I click it loads to a different scene, right? And the scene is called game. And this is the actual interaction. On click, button play, load the scene. Okay. So at the moment I'm just going to delete this. I'm not going to do anything with the clicking. So what I want to do is when I mouse over, I want this button to play, or click this button to play a sound. Let's delete this on click. Alright, so what we want to do now is add an event. So I'm going to do event. You can see there's an event trigger, and under event trigger, if you click add new type, there's a lot of things that you can choose: pointer, enter, exit, down, and so on. So this is where we're going to play our sound. Excuse me. Before that, we need to add a new script to actually launch or trigger the sound. So I'm going to do add component. Let's do new script, and then we're going to do play. We're going to call it play sound. Okay. And then create an ad. I'm going to edit the script. One thing to note is that in this script there's no sound. Our sound, remember, is located in sound engine _ sound engine. This is it. Alright, and where in the sound engine is in the audio list script. So this is all the files. So we want to access these files in this object from our button script play sound. Right, so I'm going to edit the script. So this is play sound. Remember, we need to import the script from sound engine. So I'm going to do, let's go sound engine. It's going to be, this one is going to be private because we're not sharing it. This is sound engine. Sorry, it's not sound engine. It's the script that we want to import. The script is called, let's toggle back. What is the script in the sound engine? It's called audio list. So this is what we want to reference. So it's audio list, private audio list. There you go. And then we give a local variable audio list. And this all will be lowercase, similar to the audio source and audio clip that we did earlier. And then we have audio list, and then we're going to do the sound engine as well. So I'm going to do private. Let's do sound. Hold on, let me double check. I don't think we need it. Let's try on start. We need to find the game object, so I'm going to do audio list, all lowercase, goes to game object dot find. And what are we trying to find? We're trying to find the game object that has our audio list script, which is _ sound engine. And then we're going to do dot get component, and the component we are getting is the script, which is called audio list. This one, right? Open and close bracket, semicolon. So that's for audio list. The other one that we need is the audio source from the game object itself. So I'm going to do private audio source. Give it a local name, audio source, all lowercase, semicolon. And then we're going to find where is this audio source that we are looking for. So I'm going to do audio source lowercase. So, wrong. Audio source equals to game object.find. Where is this audio source we are trying to find? Basically in the sound engine, and we're going to get this audio source. So game object.find, it is in sound engine as well. And then I'm going to do get component audio source, bracket, semicolon. So basically what we're doing, we are importing the sound engine properties or object inside sound engine. If we double check again, we have audio source and we have the script, and we want to use this script in our play button. So that's what we are doing inside the play button script, where we are importing those component, which is the audio source and also the script. So once we have that, we can do our own function to play the sound. So I'm going to do public. This is public because we're going to share it so that our button can actually play the sound. Public, let's do play. It has to be public void play mouse over. Okay, open and close bracket, and then we're going to open curly and close curly bracket, and this is where the instruction to play the audio will be. So we're going to do audio source lowercase dot play one shot, and then what is the file that we want to play? The file is in our audio list, so we're going to type audio list first, and then dot. Now we are accessing all the variables available in audio list, and we are looking for, if we scroll down, it's sound effect something. Oh, there you go, sound SFX mouse over, right? And then semicolon. We need another function for mouse click, so I can copy, and I'm going to change this to mouse click, and then definitely this one will be different sound. The rest is the same because it's from the same source. Dot, scroll down, you can see SFX something. There's mouse over, there, different mouse click. Alright, so that's it. Save it. Make sure you save. Mine is still asterisk, it's not safe. I'm going to the file, save all. Right, go back to Unity. So we have our, let's go to our button play. You can see that we have the trigger, play sound script already done with all the function. So in this event trigger, we're going to add event type. And then first is this mouse over, so it will be pointer enter. That's what's equivalent to mouse over. And then we're going to press plus, and then we'll ask for our game object. Our game object is this button play itself. So we're going to click and drag, and then the function we want to access is under play sound, and then it will be play mouse over, the function that we just created. So that's for pointer enter, that's mouse over. And then the other event type is pointer down when we click, or pointer click. Okay, pointer click. Same object, button play. If it is not, if it is empty here, we can just drag bit and play back to this area. And then the function that we want to access is play sound click. It's no longer mouse over. So for the first one, enter is mouse over, pointer click is mouse click. So now let's play and see what happens. There you go, but that's mouse over, and then we're going to click. Right? Okay, the clicking sound terrible. Alright, so I'm going to change the click sound. That's probably not the one that I want. Let's go back to sound engine, mouse click. Let's do this one, dusty room. Let's try pointer enter. Alright, that's probably better. Alright, so that's basically how to play sound. Since Option and Exit also inherit the same sound, if you want to use the same sound effect for mouse over and mouse click, you can just attach audio this script, play sound to button option, and then create the trigger again, so it will do the same. To activate the load my scene, since we are using click to activate the sound, we cannot use click to load the scene because it won't have that enough time to play the game and play the sound and then load the scene. Once you load the scene, it will go to a different scene and it won't able to play the sound. So what you want to do is you want to load the scene when you mouse up. Right? So when you mouse down or when you click, the button sound will come out. When you release, then only it will go to the other scenes. So we already have load my scene here. It's just a matter of triggering it. So we want to add another event type, and then we're going to do pointer up, and we're going to access the other function, which is load my scene. So it's, you can see that it's load my scene, and then load the scene. And so if you don't remember this, you look at the previous tutorial. There's a guide on how to create this. So basically it will trigger load my scene and it will trigger load my scene script and the load the scene function, and based on the setting it will launch the scene that has the same name called game. So let's play. It happens when you release the mouse button. Click. There you go. Sounds weird. Let's try again. Doesn't sound that nice. Let's adjust this button. Instead of doing for the sound, instead of on click, I'm going to change it to something else. So I'm going to delete this, add new. I want it to pointer down. So pointer down will play the mouse click function. So play sound, mouse click. Probably this will make more sense. Release, yeah, that's probably better. So when you mouse over, it will play the sound, mouse over sound. When you mouse down, it will play the click sound. When you release, it will go to the scene. All right, so you have that. So next is, let's look at other way to trigger the sound. For example, I have this animation. Right. So what I want to do is, you have the animation of the button flying. When the button finish flying or rest, it will play the sound. Right, so it will trigger based on the timeline. So let's do that.